mean, I see you're still, you've got lots of energy in you. You're still young, obviously, lots of mileage ahead of you.
Yeah.
And, there's a sort of a business acumen there. I mean, where did you get all this?
I think my mother started Tupperware in Malaysia. She could sell ice to an Eskimo, and she was always creating ideas and creating new ways of selling Tupperware, and then she moved on to Pyrex. So I kind of got a little bit of that, but as I said, she was a light year ahead of me in terms of selling. But
what did she teach you about
people? She was fantastic with people. She was an amazing motivator. Your biggest asset in your company is your people, but most companies don't realize that. And your second biggest asset is making them from raw diamonds to diamonds, giving them the ability to be the best.
But I see that your staff, a lot of them are very young, very energetic. I mean, when you recruit them, I mean, you mentioned you like to see them hungry.
Yeah.
What would you look for?
Well, I look at what their career is up to that point. And generally, I look for people who are, they appear unfulfilled in their life. And I look for people who have something to prove, that they know they can achieve more. Education comes secondary to me. It really does. Education proves you have a brain, and that's it.
If there's an adjective that describes the corporate culture that you liked or that you foster and nurture in AirAsia.
I mean, an adjective, it's not really an adjective, but I would say a family, really, a family of dreamers. That, no one sits there and says it can't be done. That is, you give people the chance to excel, and they will excel. And I think that is what our culture is all about, is to give people the chance. So in a family environment, generally the family give, generally, the chance to excel. And that's what I hope we try to do at AirAsia.
I mean, you've got the awards both for AirAsia and for yourself as, whether the best CEO or the best entrepreneur or whatever. When you look back in your life up to now, do you ever look back and say, "Oh, how did I get here?"
Oh boy, no one's asked me that, but yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel?
One, I don't have much time to think about it, because life is just so quick. But on occasion, when I arrive back in the airport and I see the number of planes, or I look at the destinations that we're going to, or the millions of people that are flying us, I do think, how did we do that? How did we do that? And it is unbelievable. But the great thing in the message is that if I can do it, anyone can. And I think many people out there, and that's what I try and tell university students and say, many people think, oh, you must have a sugar daddy or a sugar mummy, or you must know a politician.
Or access to capital,
exactly.
Connection.
We are a true story of no capital, no political connections, no sugar mummy or sugar daddy. Both would have been damn nice. And we've created all of this. And so I hope, looking back on it, it is unbelievable. I hope when people look at it and say, wow, I can do that too. Nothing makes me more happy to see a new entrepreneur who says, well, we read your story and we believed we could do it. That makes it all, that's what we would hope to leave behind. That many Asian entrepreneurs, if you look at the top 50, there is some connection, or there's or there's a monopoly or something. We've busted all of those. And so we hope we inspire the new generation that they can do it. Because for Southeast Asia really to achieve its true potential, which I believe will be huge, it's got to be driven by private industry, and it's got to be driven by entrepreneurs. And so I hope that in our small way we can contribute to that.
In a world dominated by global brands, very few actually emerge from this part of the world. This is a pity, as the ASEAN region is a fast-growing one and has a large talent pool that is still underutilized. It seems that it takes someone with a lot of passion, energy, creativity and an appetite for risk, as well as the confidence to succeed, in order to be a player on the global stage. Someone like Tony Fernandes, who is not afraid to take on big dreams and making them a reality.
But how about you, beyond your AirAsia brand and your...
Well, there's a couple of things I love doing.
Personal.
Yeah, I love education. I would love to build an ASEAN business school. I think business schools generally are a waste of time, but business schools are great for networking and great for sharing of ideas. I dream of a campus somewhere in Southeast Asia, and Bandung always resonates with me because that's where ASEAN started, And deep down in honor of my dad, I'd love to build a low-cost hospital. What does that mean? Does that mean that you have to pay for oxygen, or you get half a Panadol?
Bring your own bed.
Yeah. No, I think hospitals are very inefficient, and I think you can take a lot of cost out of a hospital and make, the state can never provide for everybody. It's just impossible. The taxation system would be too high, and private hospitals are just too expensive. There is definitely, in my mind, somewhere in the middle, a gap for aspiring middle classes and those coming out of the poverty gap to be able to afford a better hospital care, which also will mean that the government can provide better, free hospital care for those who really need it. That's something that's been in my mind. And then finally, I'll retire being a music producer. I'll go back to what I know best, making music.
Back to your original passion.
That's what I'll end up doing, I think, one day. Definitely from the music front, this is it. Indonesia in ASEAN is where music is. From Peter Pan to Chris to Project P to Kla Project, Indonesia's always been up front musically. It's a major chord country. I'm a major chord man.
Tony, finally, I see you as a very happy, fulfilled, successful person, very inspiring, and it's a great pleasure talking to you. Just one last question. Have you ever been unhappy? What gets you down? What would be the thing that
I have an infectious kind of character that I just bounce back. Nothing really gets me down. I miss my kids. The rigors of my job means I can't spend every minute of the day with them. That is something that gets me down. It helps that I'm in an airline that I can whip off and see them whenever I want to. But that is something that gets me down a bit. A perfect scenario for me would be able to spend every minute and watch them growing up, picking them up from school every day and doing what I do, but it's not possible. So as a balance, it's a painful balance in terms of flying, but I managed to do it to the best extent I can.
Okay, well, it's been a great pleasure talking to you.
It's been fun.
It's been fun.
I've never been in an interview with TV, with railways and 7 different cameras. I'm honored. I know it's not for me, but for you. But
it's definitely for you.
And as always, I've never met someone like you who's so well prepared, who comes as though they're so unprepared. You are a fantastic person to be interviewed by.
Thank you very much, Tony, and wish you luck and success, and enjoy living in Jakarta.
You owe me a beer now.
And all the matcha.
Yeah.
And
well, I look forward to you taking me out and showing me South Jakarta.
Absolutely. Thank you very much,
Good to see you.
Tony.
Take care.
Take care. So what does it take for a local company to grow into a global player? Well, clearly, strong leadership, passion and clear vision, as well as a healthy appetite for risk-taking, all play important factors. Well, that's all for this episode. Don't forget to join me next month where we meet another person who makes a difference to our lives. Here on Face to Face with Desi Anwar, bringing you the world.